If you overthink, let's say I'm 1,000x right now, and you're not prepared for that type of wealth or pressure or experience or opportunity, then is that too big too fast?
You should still think bigger because you're not going to know thinking small, right? You're never going to get there. The guy thinks too small and he wins a $1 billion lottery ticket and he got lucky. He's got problems too. He's just got new problems. He doesn't know what to do with the money. If I would have thought bigger, I don't have the problem of not taking action. No, I'm not that guy. You got to deal with whatever you got. If I thought smaller, I would have taken fewer actions. If you're serious about whatever that thing is, like how can a child, a 3-year-old, think that they can pick up 100 pounds or ride a big horse? They can't. It's like not achievable until daddy picks him up, puts him on it, and he's like, oh, I can ride a horse. When he's looking up, he's like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Right? So when you're looking for, you don't have anything and you're just hungry, it's hard to dream, man.
Yeah.
Because your stomach's saying, pay attention to me, or pay attention to my kids, or shoes, or whatever you're crunching.
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because running the business is hard, and waking up every day and getting to work when you're all by yourself is hard. And the thing that saved me, that continues to inspire me, motivate me, give me hope, inspiration, ideas, is looking at the stories of people who've done a lot more than me. And I learn strategies, I get motivation, and it gets me to believe in myself to go off and attack the day. And so I hope this video inspires you to do the same as well. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Grant Cardone, and my take on his top 10 rules of success. Enjoy.
This is a fear cycle, man. This is like it's them marketing fear to us to stay small. So we become consumers, not doers. Consumers are worried about inflation. Okay? Investors want inflation. Producers want inflation. Business owners want inflation. Okay? If you got a career and you got a talent, ball players want inflation. If you own a sports team, you want inflation. If you own real estate, you want inflation. But we're being told it's bad. Why? Because they're treating you. They're messaging to you as a consumer. Social media is bad for you. It is bad for a consumer. It's not bad for a creator.
All right.
See what I'm saying? So I'm trying to get on the cause point, the source point of like, okay, I should have been thinking about how do I build a $50 billion business?
15 years ago.
Oh, 100%.
Really?
100 billion, okay?
What would you have done differently?
I would have studied $100 billion businesses. Who did that? I should have been studying Jamie Dimon this whole time. I should have been studying Warren. What did they do? Not what do they say in their bull interviews. Because I've seen these guys on panels, and then I've had dinner with them.
Right.
And bro, it's two different conversations.
They speak differently.
Oh yeah. Well, one's for the gram, you know. One's for the audience, for the clip, and the other is like, hey, let's go carve this deal up. This is how we make money in here. How big could this get? They're always talking about how big can you scale this thing. So like our 10X health system.
Rule number 2 is learn to use debt.
If you want to stay in the middle class, you know, good. If that's your goal in life, to be in the middle of anything, I'm not peanut butter. I don't really want to be, I grew up in the middle. The middle of a crowd does not seem like conducive to my survivability. I don't want my kids to be middle kids. I want to be, man, I want to take my family to the top. So if you want to be in the middle, pay your debt off. You want to get to the top, learn to use debt.
Yeah.
Because in all, you know, and I think Dave would be open to this conversation. I know I would be. I'm open to being wrong. Goldman Sachs ain't worried about debt. JP Morgan's not worried about debt. Elon Musk is not worried about debt. They have debt. They use debt. Apple Computer has debt. Apple Computer has $200 billion in cash, and they borrow money today.
Why is that?
Because they want their cash reserves on their balance sheet, knowing debt is not the devil. Okay, bad debt, using debt to buy a Gucci belt, well, that's just stupidity, you know. But using debt to buy a building that provides me with income, not a house, by the way. I own 2 homes. Buying homes are bad deals.
Yeah.
Buying a home is a terrible deal.
Yeah.
Putting debt on a home is even stupider than buying the house itself. I own 2 houses. Like, I'm not telling you guys I don't do stupid stuff. I got these, I don't know what these are. These shoes are stupid. No reason for anybody to buy these shoes. I don't even know why I have them on my feet right now. They're not even that comfortable. They're probably $800, $1,200 or something. Stupid. If you're on the come up, that's dumb. Can't write it off. They're too much money. Definitely don't put a credit card on them. But on good debt, it pays me. Okay? Like, I bought a house in Malibu, I paid cash. But I still have the cost of that money. right? I spent $40 million there. I could be earning 5%. That's $2 million a year. In 10 years, that 2 million times 10 years, I need to make 20 million on that house just to break even on the cost of money and the purchase. That's not maintenance, property taxes, furnishing the house, or fixing it.
Rule number 3 is master the art of persuasion.
Buying real estate is really a sales job. It's not really a buyer's job. So in the beginning, when I was buying real estate, I had everything backwards. I thought I needed the money. Then I thought I needed the debt. I didn't know anything about either one of them. And then I put the deal third. Today, we've just switched it. Hey, man, it's the deal. The right deal will always bring in the right debt. There'll be somebody who'll be like, I'll be the debt on that deal. And the bigger these deals, by the way, the bigger the deals, the easier the deals get. Like
the debt, the easier the debt.
Everything gets easier. Like a 10,000 units would be easier for me to purchase than 1,000. A REIT would be even easier for me to buy. We've had those phone calls this week. It would be easier for me to buy a REIT, even though I don't know where to get $10 billion or $5 billion. It would be easier for me to buy a REIT than it would be for me to buy a portfolio. So none of us are told this, unfortunately, because maybe there's an agenda to keep people small. So it's the deal, it's the debt. Once you have the deal and the debt together, dude, the equity, not even a problem. There's no shortage of money that will follow a great deal.
So this is the last point, because you said this on a show.
And that
I was
requires a salesman, not a buyer. You got to learn how to pitch. You got to learn how to talk to people. You got to learn how to pull people in. You got to learn how to get attention. And I don't mean salesman in a bad way. Probably a better is a promoter, to learn how to promote and raise money.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there.
Rule number 4 is study inflation.
What's your thoughts and feelings around what is happening and what you think will happen over the next 12 to 18 months?
So I'm going to say something that I think most people will disagree with me on. But first of all, inflation is a boogeyman that's not even real.
Really?
Look, I'm just telling you, inflation, even Warren Buffett says maybe 2 people on the entire planet even understand the concept of inflation. It's so complicated.
What is inflation?
So inflation, yeah, it's a great question, right? And what is a recession, by the way?
Yeah.
So inflation is an increased price or price on some commodity that is desired, right? So you actually want inflation. You don't not want inflation.
Why?
Because you want the value of your products to go up, not down. If you're thinking as a consumer, okay, which you're not dreaming big if you're thinking as a consumer, oh my God, bananas went up. Okay, don't eat them. Eggs went up. Eggs did not go up because of this boogeyman. Okay, and it didn't go up because the dollar went down in value. So and it didn't go up because we print money. None of this is true. Now, I know your audience in the comments, they're going to freaking try to destroy me.
So if we print a bunch of money.
If you print $1 trillion, okay, and put it in this building right now, nothing inflated. You just printed a bunch of money. It is the distribution of that money. Okay, I distribute the money to 1 billion people. Then they have money, okay? Even the distribution of the money, sharing $1 trillion would not create inflation. It is when the money is moved into the marketplace.
That's when inflation happens.
If the consumer, the dreamer, the person elects to use the money. Okay, so inflation was created because we gave everybody a $1,400 check, and people went and bought they didn't need and couldn't afford. By the way, inflation is created by me buying eggs that are too expensive that I can't afford. So if the eggs are too expensive, don't buy them. The marketplace will take care of it.
Then it'll go back down eventually.
Exactly. Okay, so your supplies will go up, and people will be like, I got all these eggs, I want to get rid of them, so let's
discount.
I'll do 2 for 1, I'll 3 for 1, or 4 for 1.
Rule number 5 is invest in real assets.
The inflation was caused by the supply chains blocked up because of COVID and because things weren't getting shipped around the country. It was not caused because inflation is not caused because of printing money, even though that's what most people believe causes inflation. If I print $1 trillion and leave it in this room, it would be fill up more than this room. But if I printed $1 trillion or 4 trillion or 6 trillion, whatever they just did, and leave it in this room, there's no inflation. It's a non-event. So this idea that printing money creates inflation is not the truth. Now, if I distribute $6 trillion to every household in America, I still have not actually caused inflation, okay? Because it hasn't been used. It's not in the system yet. You get a bunch of money, she gets a bunch of money, my daughter gets a bunch of money, I get a bunch of money, until we move the money into the marketplace. Now, if all these people went out and bought assets, real assets, yeah, of course, we're all able to pay more money because we have more money. So if your audience can just follow the thinking here, and I'm just asking people to think with this, because this is what I'm thinking with. The reason we have inflation is because people were sent $1,400 checks. Some of your audience is not going to like what I'm about to say.
Say it.
You guys were sent a $1,400 check. You got a $1,400 check, and you went and spent money that you shouldn't have spent on you didn't need. That is the new definition of inflation. People that get money and then spend it on stuff they don't need, are not required living, and you probably couldn't afford and wouldn't have done it had you not gotten that check. Now, people like me, I didn't cause inflation. You caused inflation. I went and took my money and invested it. I buried it in projects, in real assets. And so every time I got any check over the last 2 or 3 years or for the last 30 years, I take all the money I get. It's all garbage. Money's garbage. Mm-hmm. And I convert it into buildings. I'm walking through. What is your assistant's name?
Alex Johnson.
Yeah, you were awesome bringing me into the building. What was I saying all the way from the curb? Oh my God, this building. I should buy this building. Like I just get, like to me, buildings are like they're like, I can buy this today if I can hold on for 10 or 15 or 20 years.
Rule number 6 is stay persistent.
What would you say your superpower is? I mean, you've done all kinds of things and you've got an incredible track record, but what would you say like your superpower is right now as you sit here today?
Man, I don't know. I think everybody's got a lot of superpowers. So
well, what's the dominant one that you would say, Grant Cardone, when you look in the mirror, it's like, this is what I do. This is my special sauce.
One is persistence, man. I just don't quit. Like if I tell you guys I'm going to buy 100,000 units and I am going to own 100, I'll be one of the largest apartment owners in the world. I have never, ever stopped. The only way to stop me is to kill me. And then I would even question whether I come back or not. Boom, you know? So persistence, I have built my persistence muscle up. It was all that cold calling I was doing when I was 30. The second one is I'm extremely disciplined with money. And it doesn't matter whose it is. It could be your money, your brother's money. It doesn't matter whose it is. I watch money. I never lose it. I respect it. And I try to multiply it. And on the same thing on buying property. Like I don't use your money any different than I would my own money. I'm not reckless. Cause I'm self-made. Like I came up from the mud and, you know, I've never had a silver spoon. I've never had anybody give me anything. The fact that I've never taken money for an institution and got the size that I am is really unheard of.
Rule number 7 is start multiplying.
If you want to get rich, if you're unselfish enough to secure your money for yourself, your family, your community, and your household, that's what I'm talking about, rich. Rich is I can give to my church and still give to my family. Rich is I can go on a big trip and still give to my church. Rich is I can take care of my family and my church and still take care of strangers and invest in projects maybe that I love. Rich is, hey, I got prosperity and affluence, okay? $1 million divided by 25 years is $4,000 a year. Is that right? 40,000, I'm sorry, I missed a zero. Doesn't really matter, it's still no money. You can't live on 40,000 bucks a year. You can't send your kids to decent schools. You can't take care of your mom that's sick. You can't take care of one car wreck, much less a car wreck and a little bit of cancer. You can't do anything, and you can't give anything to your charity. Why? Because you didn't plan correctly. If you want to become a millionaire, number one, you have to decide to become a multi-millionaire. You're going to miscalculate the zeros, and this is what the 10X rule was. The 10X rule was a multiplier. You must multiply in order to add. You have to learn how to do something a lot of times to ever get good at it.
Rule number 8 is buy more real estate.
What did you do to get from 1 billion to 4.2 in 3 years?
I bought more real estate. I mean, that's how you do it. You got to buy the real estate, right? You got to, you got to either raise money or you got to have money, and both of those are possible. So you guys out there are saying, I don't have any money. Oh my God, if I had money, I'd have done that too. No, you got to either get money, earn money, or you got to raise money. One of the two. And it's easier to raise money if you've already worked and earned money, because then people can trust you that you know how to trade time for money at a job. So, like people trust me. They trust my work ethic. People may not like my energy, or they might not like the way I say something, but nobody's going to say I don't work. They're going to say, here's guy's got track record, 35 years showing up, doing what he said he was going to do. Yeah, he's cocky and he's this and he's that and he says whatever he wants. But look, you probably would too. Yeah, but I do what I say I'm going to do too. And then I stack real estate assets. We picked up $3 billion, almost $3 billion during the pandemic, and then took a hiatus. We haven't bought anything in the last year, and I'm about to blow this portfolio up. So next time I'm on this podcast, I'll be at 10 billion. This cycle right now that we're in is going to be the biggest real estate opportunity of my lifetime. And everybody is listening. Like it's time to be ready all the time, not get ready, because it's happening right now.
Rule number 9 is find the best brokers.
What's your advice to brokers headed into this season, right? Because most brokers I know have had an epic run the last 2 or 3 years. Epic run, made an insane amount of money, right?
They don't even know how to dial.
Right, exactly. They forgot how to the fundamentals, right? They forgot. They stopped doing it because it was so easy. They got a listing and had 20 offers. So in this current season we're going into, brokers are down 70, 80%. They're forecasting being down 70, 80% in sales volumes. What's the advice for some of the brokers out there?
You need to go back and really, renew those relationships that maybe you've ignored a little bit. I know what we're doing. Brokers are very, very valuable to us.
Insane, yeah.
Never paid too much for a broker. They've never earned too much money on a deal. Brokers out there, you got to find out who's buying. I'm on the top. I'm on the list. Now, the problem with the list today is the other guys on the list are institutions. So you're going to have to go in the list now and find the individuals, because the individuals are going to reign power for the next 18 months. I got 2 meetings this week from the top 5 groups to go look at their portfolio to purchase. I could not get that meeting a year ago. So I would tell brokers, you guys need to arrange that meeting for me. Individuals, entrepreneurial, people with a bunch of powder. I'm sitting on 350 cash right now, 350 big ones, okay?
M's.
And I'm raising money every day. And I don't mind moving into this cycle. I was built for this cycle. You got to find more guys like me that did not depend on sovereign funds, hedge funds, and institutions for their dough.
And rule number 10, the last one before some very special bonus clips, is be on top.
How should people be framing their mindset with all this information?
You want out of anything in the middle, man. You don't want to be bologna. On the bologna sandwich, the bologna is what gets eaten. You want to get outside the sandwich. You don't want to be crammed in. You want to figure out, what does the top of this pyramid structure do? How do you get at the top for your family? The best health you can get in, the best intelligence, the best connections. How do you have friends and family that all have enough money and mobility and time to go do the things you want to go do with them? That's what these people do. These people want to spend $100,000 on a ticket and spend 3 or 4 days, hobnobbing with one another and staying at the Beverly Hills Hotel where the hotel rooms are $2,200 a night and eating $40 French fries. If they want to do that with themselves, they got themselves in a position to operate up there with those people. And so that's the big thing. It's not send my kids to college and pay off my mortgage.
I was on a boat, a 200-foot yacht in south of France. And I said, man, when you guys are coming through storms 30 and 40-foot waves, he's like, man, we don't worry about the ship. We worry about the crew. Crew breaks before the ship does. So that's what's going to happen in a recession. Your crew's going to break up. Loyal people are going to blow off. People are going to quit jobs that should not quit jobs. You're not going to have to fire people. They're just going to quit. Like people go Looney Tunes, okay? Because there's bad news everywhere. So first thing is, hey, set a new target for 2023, and it's going to be a big target. It's going to be giant, something that terrifies you. Second day, we're going to handle marketing. How much marketing would you have to do to tell a story? Because you're going to be able to buy ads for a fraction. Like we're going to start pounding Twitter right now, because I know ad dollars are moving away from Elon right now. So I'll go in and say, Elon, I'll be your huckleberry. Okay. So we're looking for opportunities, right? But that follows that decision making. We want to 10x our business. I do $150 million a year. I'm going to figure out how to do $1.5 billion a year in sales. I have to 10x me. So I need a strategy, right? Marketing, sales. Then it's going to be like, how big a sales team do I need to start gathering these sales to monetize this activity? I need other communities. I need other languages. For me to do $1 billion, I cannot do it on only English-speaking people.
You need, like you said, you need people that don't look like you.
Mandarin, Hispanic, kids, Snapchatters, TikTokers, collaboration. You get me an audience that I don't have. Like that's what has to happen.
Looking back on the year, how are you finding time to do all you do, Grant? Like, what does a typical day look like for Grant Cardone? Like, how do you prioritize the big rocks daily?
Well, the number one most important thing today was your interview. So I'm like, we got to do that right. And, what really happens for me in any given day, I don't think about having too much to do ever. I'd rather have too much to do, by the way, than too little to do. I do a lot better, and I'm a lot happier when I got a lot to do. So I would just suggest to everybody, don't complain about having too much to do, because if you keep complaining about it, you'll have nothing to do. And I think everybody, has had the experience of like a day going by in a snap of a finger because you had so much to do, as opposed to nothing to do, and it feels like the day never ends. There's an old saying about, if you want something done, find the busiest person and give them the task, because the person that has nothing to do will not get it done. So I don't really worry about too much I don't think about, I got too much to do. I don't really think in terms of that, but I also don't do stuff I don't want to do. I was driving to the office today. I was late. I was doing this interview with O'Leary, and I was a moment late. And then two grown-ups, adults, are driving through our private parking lot here at the office on bicycles, and I almost hit one of them. And of course, your response is, when you hit somebody on a bike on your property, you want to get out and beat them up first, And so the point of that story is I made time for this thing that just showed up on my radar out of nowhere. Wasn't on my schedule, and I made time to be an idiot for a moment. And got emotional. So I don't think it's real that people don't have time. You guys make time for whatever happens.
One thing I was going to say, Brian and Grant, is I know coming up, you talked earlier about the recession, Grant. I know, Brian, our followers and audience are just avid about taking action. That's one thing that's great is and that's something you teach, Brian. Let's take action. So Grant, maybe you guys both talk a little bit about the upcoming challenge you're doing, which I love. One of the topics is really how to thrive during challenges and recession. Some of the things you're going to be teaching, because I think it's so important. Everybody that's following you, Brian, all of our subs, they really need to get involved in this, because it's some really good stuff. And what I heard Grant talking about this a few months ago. Grant, you want to talk a little bit about what? Yeah,
I would just say, like, if you guys agree with my statement about, sometimes the truth is a painful pill to take. And as much as the truth might hurt, folks, we have $13 trillion worth of debt in this country that was taken on in the last 2 years.
Oh, wow.
This is more debt than his, like, we printed almost 80% of all the US dollars in circulation. Yeah. Happened in the last 36 months. Now you're like, okay, well, what does that mean? It means you should have got a pay raise. If you didn't get a pay raise, you did not get a part of the print, which means your hustle's off. Inflation. Warren Buffett says inflation is it's the most misunderstood concept in the world. And most people, when they hear the word inflation, they get scared. But the truth is, your assets should have gone up in value. The things that you own should have gone up in value. If you have wealth already, you should embrace inflation. If you don't have wealth, then you have to be like, okay, I got to start getting some assets because they benefit from inflation.
Yes.
And you don't need money to buy assets. but you do need a strategy and you need a commitment, a target.
Yeah.
So like my little company, last year we did $145 million in internet sales in a 12-month period.
Wow.
Like I don't even have an inventory. I don't have inventories. Like I built this out of recessions to become unbreakable, because I've been broke so many times that I'm like, I don't want to keep going backwards. You know, like I can't keep going backwards. I got to figure out there's something I don't know and don't understand. So I had 401ks, IRAs. I had a house paid for. I got rid of all that in 2008. Sold the house, converted the money out of the house and my IRA accounts to start making investments. And I quit playing by the house rules, Brian, that you and I were brought up on. Save your money, 90-day reserves, buy a house, pay it off. I'm like, no, I'm investing all this money in me. I'm investing in our customers, and I'm investing in my expansion. And so I would just tell everybody right here, Eric, based on your question, you guys need to reassess what's an asset and what's a liability right now.
Right.
Okay. And because the game is changing radically in a way that you have time to, you got to really challenge everything you've been told by Wall Street and by your education and by your friends and family.
Yes.
Because a house is not going to make you money. It's never going to make you money. Houses are not built to make money. And saving money in a bank helps the bank, but it doesn't help you. And saving money in IRAs and 401ks helps Wall Street, but it doesn't help you. Notice who's getting wealthier: the banks and Wall Street, not individuals.
If you go out on the street and communicate and there's nobody there to listen, did you actually say anything? If you send an email and it hits the junk box and nobody saw it, did you actually communicate? If I communicate to you and you don't actually duplicate the communication, did the communication take place? There's a lot of salespeople out there. In fact, I would say most salespeople, majority, somewhere above 3 out of 4 communicate. And there is no communication. There's no duplication of the communication. I know public speakers that get on stage and speak to 100 people or 300 people or 30,000 people. There's really no communication. People in the back of the room never had their attention, never had their full attention. If you've ever seen a Zoom meeting or a corporate meeting,
zombies.
And dude, people come in the meeting and they're all like, there's this, the delay coming in, and then and people, can't get anybody's attention, and people are showing up like there's no communication going on. But you think you did a meeting, and then you wonder why there's no results. Guess what? It's because there was no communication, even though you spent your time and energy. What does it say? Did it really happen? It never happened, okay? So if you communicate and it's not duplicated, did it really happen? You're going home at night saying, oh, I'm so tired. I worked so hard. Really, the reason you feel so tired is because you did something and it got nothing that actually was never done because it wasn't duplicated. As opposed to where you communicate clearly and you get results and people buy from you, you go home, you're like, man, this is the best day of my life. You're renewed. Why? Because the communication went both ways. So that requires you get a stage. It requires you get an audience. It requires you to get attention. There's an exact science to grabbing someone's full attention. I'm not talking about trickery and mimicry and some of these neuroscience, neuro blah, 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 pseudo bullshit sciences. Yeah. I'm talking about straight up, hey, do you hear what I'm saying to you? We are going to go into a massive recession. It's going to affect your family. Did I get your attention? Did you hear what I said? Hey, tell me what I just said. And then I get an audience to say, yeah, dude, you just said my family is going to get spanked and it's going to hurt. And then I said, yes, exactly what I said. Your family's going to get beat up and you can do something about it. Do you want to? See, I need to get a clear communication because I got attention. So there's an exact science to that. Even some of the best salespeople I know don't do that well. I didn't start any social media. I didn't have one follower on social, David, until 2011. Is that right? 2000? Yeah. I've only been doing social media marketing for 11 years. I'm 64 years old. I got introduced to social media when I was 53 years old. It's not native or easy or normal or natural for me. What I saw, the beauty of social media was, number one, it was free. Number two, I could bang it as much as I wanted. Okay, like as much as I want it. They won't stop you no matter how much I drop on it. I can say anything I want and it's not regulated and it's free. This is perfect for me. Okay. Everybody told me to do, there's a specific time. This is a myth.
There's a specific time you should market, the time of day. Number 2, don't market too much. Number 3, don't monetize. Gary Vaynerchuk became famous for don't monetize. I'm like, I ain't got a daddy. My daddy don't own a wine shop, bro. I got to monetize. Okay. I need money. I got 2 kids. I have to monetize. So I broke all those rules. Number 1, I market constantly. The best time for me is right now. I add links to almost every post that I do. I've raised $1 billion in cash for Cardone Capital doing this. And I've sold $1 billion worth of products over the internet. And nobody really even knows I exist. Also, the 15 million people that follow me and follow whoever follows you is not as important as the warriors that won't follow you, that will not like you, will not comment. You don't even know. They're watching. Many of them are watching on burner phones. The most qualified audience I have is not my followers. It is the warrior audience. Number 1, it's real. It's possible no matter what you hear or see or, any level of success is real. Second thing I would tell young people is don't focus on sports and entertainment. Focus on business. My career will outlast every baseball player, basketball player, rapper, and performer. I can go until I'm 99 years old. I don't need any special talent. The next thing I would tell people is look, invest in yourself. Don't just invest in yourself to go to college. There's so many better investments in education. Like I wouldn't go to college again personally. I would invest in myself. Every day I spend an hour to 2 hours studying super successful people on YouTube. I do have a plan. I always have a plan, and everybody should have a plan. And you need to know exactly what the plan is. And you need to know also that the plan's going to work.
Okay.
Like I think a lot of people plan and they cross their fingers. Most people have a plan, but they really don't know if it's going to work.
Yes.
I know my plans work. Like I know this plan. I know what it was. I've been through 3 or 4 major recessions.
Okay.
Survived all of them. And I know what I have to do each time. So I've gone back and studied what does it take to move through this. I've also studied hundreds of years of cycles of where other families became wealthy in these cycles. These are moments and opportunities, not problems. So it's going to look like a problem to you. There's going to be bad news everywhere. We're in a recession now.
Okay.
Here and south of here, we're in a recession.
Yes.
And they're just telling you we're not, but we are. And the recession will get deeper. It will be a very long and ugly, nasty recession, but there's something you can do about it. So the first thing is to assess all your situations. Where are you with liabilities and assets?
Okay.
What's a liability? Meaning like it's going to cost you something, and what's assets that you could lean into? So you need to assess those in terms of real, my phone's an asset, right? This is a partial asset that's going to become a liability because it's going to be an empty cup here in a second. I'm going to need fuel. I'm going to need water. So assess those things. Number 2, I need to get rid of the liabilities, all of them, including people.
Okay.
Family members, brothers, sisters, mommies. If they're liabilities, they're liabilities. You do not want to drag these people through this thing because they're going to drag you down. When you have to carry this stuff with you, you need to move fast in this cycle.
Okay.
And then you'll go back and pick them up later.
Okay.
But you can't, everybody's going to die if you guys don't do this plan. And so I'm going to leave them for a second so that I can go get my assets so I can expand and create wealth for myself, which is the 3rd step.
You want to do something in life, you got to learn the sales game. I know some of you might be turning this off right now. You're like, I don't want to know anything about sales. But before you turn it off, understand this. Today I own about $750 million worth of real estate. Not all of it looks like this. I've had homes and real estate in California, Arizona, La Jolla, Los Angeles, Austin, Texas, Alabama, Houston, Texas. Let's see, where else have I owned stuff? I own about 5,000 apartments right now. And I'm going to share something, and I'm going to give you the link below here so that you can go grab this data. I've written 7 books, 19 best-selling audio programs, an online platform that's over 30 million people have used and tested out on. Companies have paid me hundreds of millions of dollars to teach their teams. Now, I'm telling you all that to tell you this. There's one thing in my entire life that I did to accomplish everything that I have today, including my wife and my kids and my free time, all that stuff started because I learned how to sell. I learned how to sell. I learned how to do something, and by the way, that I didn't like to do. I didn't like the sales game, didn't like the rejection, wasn't comfortable talking to people, not really that comfortable doing this video right now, but I'm willing to. Why? Okay? So there's two parts of this. One, you got to learn the sales game at some point. I don't care what you do. You want to write a book, you want to write a movie, you want to sell a movie, you want to sell music, you want to get people to pick you up, you want to be a celebrity, you want to be a DJ, a plumber, contractor, dentist. You got to learn how to sell, period. You guys can have anything you want. You got to dream bigger, man. You got to do more. It's simple, the 2 Ds. Dream bigger, do more. Dream bigger, do more. Dream bigger, do more. You don't need to go back to college. You don't need to go to college. You need to pick 1 or 2 people and let those people mentor you. You probably need one mentor that can help you, and the other one is a guide of what not to do. Okay? The lighthouse, you know the lighthouse? Some of you probably never saw a lighthouse. In books, you saw a book and there was a lighthouse in the book. You don't go to the lighthouse. That's a mentor. You don't just need mentors that tell you what to do. You need to pick some mentors as the lighthouse of where not to go. I have learned more from examples of what not to do than I have from those who taught me what to do. See, my dad died when he was 52 years old. My dad was a great mentor of mine. He taught me how to work hard. I got that work thing down, man. How many of you know how to work hard? Well, I can work hard, man. I can work hard, man. I can work hard. But my dad couldn't teach me how to get rich. My dad couldn't teach me how to raise $100 million online without running an ad, using social media, and do it in 100 days. And by the way, I'm on track to do that right now. Okay, the next biggest thing I will do in my life will be crowdfunding for real estate. It'll be the biggest thing I've ever done. And it's all about how big can I think and how much can I do.
Just assume that 40 million people are going to be put out of work. Dude, I would act like 40 million people are going to be put out of work in one weekend. That's what I would go into January saying. The entire world's going to shut down. You're not going to be able to get anything. You won't be able to get anybody on the phone. You won't be able to use your internet. Like, just go violent paranoid.
Yeah.
And that way you're going to be right. Because even if none of that happens, you're gonna act appropriately.
That's right.
Which is how people should act all the time. That's how I act all the time. I'm always acting like
you're broke.
I'm always broke.
Yeah.
But I'm always broke.
Yeah. No,
So,
I like that a lot.
Because no matter how much success I achieve today, no matter what happens today, I'm gonna wake up Saturday morning and I'll be like, I'm starting over from zero again.
Right.
I'm not starting from where yesterday ended. I'm starting from zero.
That's right.
And so I keep accumulating like that. I don't mean money. I mean customers, success, and that becomes the unbreakable business that we talk about.
You guys want to take some notes right now? I'm going to teach you the money game. And you're going to have to learn the money game. Okay, I'm going to show you how to get money to work. Because on this planet, you have to know how to manage money. One of the most important lessons you're going to learn in your life right now. You don't want to add, you want to multiply. This is how you get money, all right? One, you get it. Now I need to keep it, okay? I didn't write save it. What you want to do is you want to multiply. Right? What's your name? King? King, I like that, man, okay? So look, King, when you come back here, let's see, what's the date today? 28, thank you, man. Man, you on your game too, huh? He says, I get 100 for that? Sure, man. Appreciate it. What's your name? Thank you, Vincent. I had an uncle named Vincent. Good guy. He always believed in me. Me and you? This guy, huh? This guy's a storyteller right here, huh? I like that. You got some moves, bro. Go ahead. There you go, Vincent. First part of this little game right here is you don't need to make something to get money. But you do need to get in the right room with the right people that have money. If I didn't have any money, could I play this game with you guys? No. If I was broke, if I was doing the wrong stuff, if I was out, drinking and drugging on the weekends, and I'm losing stuff and I'm going crazy then I can't help you.
Because you made it this far in a video, I want to celebrate you. Most people start and don't finish. Most people never actually follow through. Most people say they want something, but they don't ever do the work to actually get it. But you are different. You are special. Believe Nation, you made it here all the way to the end, and I love you. So as a special celebration, if you put a hashtag believe down in the comments below on this video, I will showcase you and celebrate you somewhere on the screen in a future video because you are awesome.
For 10 more amazing rules from Alex Hormozi, check the video right there next to me. I think you'll love it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
Our deal team talks to hundreds of prospective businesses every single month. Now, they've implemented 2 AI tools to replace themselves. First, to increase show-up rates for meetings, we now send personalized videos of me using entirely AI.
Hey, Jordan. Hey.